On July 27th, a recreational boater called into the U.S. Coast Guard that they had seen a distressed whale a few miles offshore from the Rockaways in New York. The Coast Guard relayed that information to us through the NOAA stranding hotline, and our stranding network partners in New York got on a vessel that afternoon to go assess the whale.
It's coming up at 11.
So with any entanglement case, we always try to get eyes on the animal and the entangling gear as quickly as possible so we can make the best decisions to help that animal. When they got there, they found that the whale was nearly vertical in the water column. It was holding its head in its blowhole out of the water so it could breathe, but it wasn't moving, and it appeared to either be entangled by its tail or have an injury on its tail that was keeping it from moving. So our stranding network teams took videos and photos and determined that there was at least one buoy underneath the animal down by its tail. And once we had confirmed that it was in fact entangled, started working with the Center for Coastal Studies, our lead large whale disentanglement group in the area. And they made plans to come down to New York. On Wednesday morning, our teams used a number of tools on long poles and different types of specialized knives to make some initial cuts, and were able to remove some lines and buoys. But this was an incredibly complicated situation in that it was difficult to access the gear and to get a clear picture of what was holding it down. So when our teams left the water on Wednesday night, they were able to assess that whatever gear was holding the whale down was very heavy and very large. So we worked with the Army Corps of Engineers and Monmouth University and the Northeast Fisheries Science Center Sandy Hook staff to bring in two vessels that were designed to haul fishing gear. And these were able to grapple the gear on Thursday morning and bring it up to the surface. It was nearly 4,000 pounds of gear. They actually had to use bolt cutters and hacksaws to cut through the heavy gear that was entangled around the whale's tail. And it was eventually freed at the end of the day. After the gear was removed, the team stayed on the water for a bit to get a good look at the whole animal's body. They did notice some cuts and some wounds where the gear had been present around its tail, but nothing life-threatening. And we do feel that this animal has a good shot now that it is free swimming again and able to feed and resume its normal behaviors. Unfortunately, entanglements of large whales are not uncommon, and they don't always have such a happy ending. This is a significant problem, especially in the Northeast, with high incidence of whales overlapping with fishing areas and marine debris. Quick reporting of an entanglement is so important, and it possibly saved this animal's life. We're thankful for those partnerships that have really helped make this rescue a success.